Welcome back, everybody. If you just joined us, we're in conversation with the SARS Commissioner, Tom Moyane. Let's continue our discussion. And I want to engage you on the issue of the contentious rogue unit. What is at play here?
Rogue unit. A rogue unit is an issue that arose some years back before I joined SARS. It was in the newspapers, and the then Minister of Finance, Nene, instructed or had a discussion with the then Deputy Commissioner, Ivan Pillay, that these issues are worrisome and therefore there is a need for an investigation as to whether this is just a hearsay. And then, of course, Advocate Moses Kakane was appointed, and it was called the Kakane Commission. They did an in-depth analysis as to the issues that were raised by the public and the concerns. And when I joined in September, the process was already on course. And in October, Advocate Kakane and the team submitted a report, which was commissioned by the former Deputy Commissioner, Mr. Ivan Pillay, in their full acknowledgement of the previous minister. And the report came out with damning outcomes that said there's prima facie evidence of an existence of a rogue unit that is working outside the purview and the limits of the law, which means they're not doing what is supposed to be done. They were not collecting taxes, but they were involved in intelligence, they were involved in bagging, they were involved in other things. So if we put that aside, so it's not a Thomas Moyane issue. It's a matter that I inherited. And therefore, Moses Kakane said there is prima facie evidence of the existence of a rogue unit.
It compromises you in a big way, doesn't it?
In what way?
I mean, the fact that you were also involved in the whole debacle.
No, I wasn't involved. I inherited. I should think clarity. Somebody was given the task to run the process to verify whether it is true or not. And I happened to be in the middle of the storm to receive the report that contains this damning information. And therefore, I cannot be complicit to it. All I needed to do is to receive the report, and I gave the copy to the minister. Both of us were informed of what was happening to SARS before I joined. So I don't see the reason why I should be in the middle of this. All I need to do as a responsible leader to be able to read and follow up on the issues that are raised by the Kakane report and further make inquiries as to whether the outcomes of that report are made public and they're shared with the minister. And therefore, it is common cause that South Africans should know that we are a revenue collection, not involved in intelligence. This country has sectors of its departments that are responsible for such activities. So SARS activities and mandate is an effective and efficient collection of revenue.
All right. Tomorrow you are appearing before Parliament to explain to the Standing Committee on Finance on why Jonas Makwakwa was reinstated. Why indeed was he?
I did explain this and will reinstate the position that we maintained last time. He was reinstated precisely because he was not found guilty of misconduct, which relates to the Code of Conduct of SARS. Now, you were reluctant in suspending Makwakwa, weren't you? No, I wasn't reluctant. Well, I've never been reluctant. That's what the media says.
Well, the reason I'm saying this, Mr. Moyane, for over 3 months you sat on the financial intelligence report and you revealed the contents of the report, yes, very much in contravention with the FIC Act. And, you know, you begrudgingly suspended him eventually.
No, not necessarily. If you receive a report as a leader, you will have the report, which I received on the 17th by my office. I read it on the 18th. 2 days later, I responded to the FIC. Like any other responsible person, you read the report, familiarize your report. You don't just overnight wake up and say, I have a report, and you just take action. But I must indicate our timelines which South Africans need to know. From the time I received that report, I engaged with the director of FIC. And I even requested a meeting with him, which took place begrudgingly in June. So there is a timeline. Throughout the process, there has been engagement with the FIC. It is on record. So there was nothing untoward. My letters, if they were to be shared, if permission is given, they do indicate that I said this is a serious matter that affects a senior member of my organization, and they need to be attended to expeditiously as possible. Therefore, there is no way that I begrudgingly suspended Makwakwa because of pressure. I did that. I had to satisfy myself. There are laws and processes that have to be followed. When that decision was taken, I had no doubt in my mind that I've done the right thing, and he was suspended. And
the timing of the suspension of Mr. Makwakwa is very much suspect, because you only suspended him after a certain group of investigators revealed the contents of the FIC report to you.
Well, you have said a very important point. I should think you will recall it. Certain people had access to that information. I thought that information was supposed to be between myself and the director of FIC. So who are these people who then have information that is confidential? Who? Because if you share information that is confidential, it must remain between the parties concerned. If third parties then have access, I can assure you here, under oath, that I did not share that information with any other third party who went to the press. So I was in the process of engaging. And it is interesting that if people are saying that...
But you shared the information with Mr. Makwakwa himself, and you're not supposed to.
You can't, in law, if you want to charge somebody, charge him on trumped charges that he does not know. If there's a case against you, I need to tell you, sir, somebody has made a later complaint. I can't charge you in the absence of you knowing. That's normal, isn't it? I can't charge you without telling you what are the charges. I had to tell him that these allegations are against you, so that he knows as to why am I going to suspend him or fire him.
How do you respond to reports that you are captured?
I am here. I have no handcuffs. I don't belong to a faction. I'm a man of my own. I represent myself. I express myself as freely as I can. I am as open as it comes. I'm not captured. And they need to be able to express, why am I captured? By whom? Who
so you haven't been placed in your position by the president?
Pardon?
You haven't been placed in your position by the president?
The president decides as to who becomes members of the cabinet. Are they captured? He decides. Are you telling me that anybody that the president appoints as a minister or as a DG is captured? It is his prerogative to decide as to what the best cadre is available in the country to run a particular department or to run a service. So I think it is disingenuous, and in fact it borders on, I think, a very, very serious attribute to say that anybody that the president appoints is captured. So are you telling me that all the ministers that the president has appointed are captured?
I can't talk about state capture without, of course, referring to the Guptas. You're reportedly in Dubai, and you apparently met with the Guptas. Why? Apparently. And what came out of that meeting?
I never met the Guptas. Let's put it on record. And I want this to be clear so that when we leave this place, everybody knows. Tom Moyane is a human being, and he has a family. I'm entitled to holidays. On the 23rd of December, I left with my family, my wife and my son, because I have friends all over the world. I went to Portugal via Dubai. I was on transit. On the 24th, I was on transit. On the very same day, I landed in Portugal. On the 24th of December, in Portugal, it is called Christmas Eve, and there's a big parties. And I went to my friends, whom I had met so many years in Mozambique, with his father, who is around 80 years, the friends, and we had a party. I spent my Christmas in Portugal. I left Portugal for Dubai for my holidays on the 29th, 30th. I arrived in Dubai, checked in a hotel. Fortunately, as the Lord God Almighty may have it, I have all records of where I've been. So somebody has to come. And I'm making that challenge openly here to tell me whether they've seen me with any of the Gupta brothers. I saw nobody. I met no one. And so it's a lie.
The name Tom Moyane has been associated with negativity, state capture, you know, the rogue unit. And again, I must say, I'm putting it to you that this greatly compromises you, more so because you had a very, I would say, sensitive portfolio. Are you fit to be SARS Commissioner?
No. Let's go back. When you say it is controversial, in what way? I've explained my Dubai, and it needs to be stated very clearly. I've never met them. The fact that I've been appointed the Commissioner for SARS, it means therefore I have the wherewithal to lead. It's not for the first time that I'm leading a very huge organization.
I mean, such allegations don't just spring out of nowhere.
They must prove, and I'm making that.
Are you fit to be Commissioner, though?
Very much so. Is it because I'm black that I can't be a Commissioner?
Well, it's got nothing to do with the race, Mr. Moyane.
Exactly. Because you go back, the 60 billion, it was done under a different dispensation. It was not an issue. So I'm saying I have no appetite whatsoever, but I have all the appetite to engage on factual matters. Smokes and mirrors don't make me not to have a sleepless night. The fact of the matter is that I do not belong to any faction, and I am not captured.
Mr. Tom Moyane, SARS Commissioner, thank you so much for chatting to us this morning. We appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
Well, that was SARS Commissioner Tom Moyane speaking to us about all matters SARS, and we thank him for his contribution. This is Morning Live.